Sometimes you start looking into something like visas, and it feels like you're missing like half the instructions.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, today we are diving into some recent changes to work visa rules in New Zealand,
Okay.
specifically around bringing your partner.
Right.
When you want to bring your loved one along,
Yeah.
but the paperwork feels like trying to climb a mountain.
It can definitely feel that way with all the different visa types and requirements.
Exactly. Luckily, we've been sifting through some official updates from Immigration New Zealand,
Okay.
and you, my friend, are about to become way more informed than the average person struggling with these forms.
Yeah, I like it.
So what's the big news?
We'll get this.
What's changing?
Starting December 2nd, 2024, New Zealand is making a pretty big move to make their country more appealing to skilled workers coming in with partners.
Okay.
We're talking open work rights.
Okay, pause right there.
Mm-hmm.
I know we throw around terms like open work rights a lot, but for someone who's just starting to dip their toes into this world, break it down for us.
Sure.
What does that actually mean for the person holding the visa?
You're right. It can feel like a whole new language sometimes.
Yeah.
Basically, imagine this.
Okay.
You move to New Zealand with your partner who's got a skilled job offer.
Okay.
On a traditional partner visa, you might be limited in terms of where you can work, or even if you can work.
Right.
Open work rights flip that script completely.
Okay.
It means you're free to work for any employer in New Zealand, no restrictions.
Wow. Okay. I can already see how that would be huge EE for couples.
Huge.
It's not just about the income.
Right.
It's about having the freedom to build a life on your own terms.
Exactly. It's about feeling like you're able to contribute fully both to your family and to your new community.
Yeah.
Plus, let's be honest, the job market is competitive enough without having extra hurdles because of your visa status.
Totally. So it benefits families. But I bet New Zealand's also thinking about how this makes them look to potential talent, right? Yeah.
Think about it. If you're a skilled worker with options, are you more likely to choose a country that gives your partner flexibility or one where they might have to jump through hoops just to get a job?
Right.
This is New Zealand saying, we value you and your family.
It's strategic.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just a free-for-all, right?
It's not a free-for-all. No.
Who exactly qualifies for these open work rights?
You're right. There are some specific requirements.
Okay.
It mostly comes down to two key things: the primary visa holder's job and how much they earn.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit.
Okay.
What do we mean by kind of job?
New Zealand uses something called the ANZSCO, that stands for Australian and New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupations.
Okay.
It's basically a system to rank jobs by skill level.
Gosh.
It goes from level 1, which is your super specialized high-demand occupations, down to level 5, which are roles that typically need less specialized training.
So instead of just guessing if your job is good enough for a visa,
Right.
there's a whole ranking system.
Exactly.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Helps create some objectivity, right?
Absolutely. So under these new rules, if the primary worker is in an ANZSCO level 1-3 role, doctors, engineers, maybe certain tech roles, and they're earning at least NZD $25.29 per hour, their partner is eligible for these open work rights.
Okay.
The same goes for those on an essential skills visa making that same wage.
Okay, so higher skill, higher pay. Good news for your partner.
Mm-hmm.
What about folks in those slightly less in-demand fields, the ANZSCO levels 4 and 5? Any hope for them?
There's definitely hope. It's not a complete shutdown for those in levels 4 and 5.
Okay.
They've built in some flexibility here.
Okay.
For example, if someone in that skill range is earning significantly above the median wage, we're talking 150% above, so around NZD $47.41 per hour, then their partner might still qualify for open work rights.
So even if the job itself isn't super specialized, if you're bringing in a good income, New Zealand's still keen to make things work for your family.
Exactly. And there's another interesting caveat.
So what's that?
There are some sectors with special agreements like transport or care work where even if you're at that lower $25.29 wage, your partner might still be eligible for open work rights.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about the job itself, but also the need in certain industries.
Right.
That makes sense. They're acknowledging there are some critical areas where they need skilled workers no matter what.
Precisely. It's a really nuanced approach, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
They're trying to balance attracting top-tier talent with addressing specific workforce needs.
It's like they actually put thought into this whole visa thing.
Wait.
Now, this next question might make me seem super naive,
Okay.
but what about people who are already in New Zealand on a partner visa?
Right.
The ones who got stuck with restricted work rights before this new update.
Right.
Are they just out of luck?
Not at all.
Okay.
And this bit's important for anyone listening who's in that boat right now.
Yeah.
If your partner now qualifies under these new rules, you're not stuck with your old visa conditions. You can actually apply to have your visa varied to switch over to open work rights.
Wow, that's huge. Talk about a win for those who've been patiently waiting for a change.
Yeah.
I bet that's a massive weight off their shoulders.
Oh.
So let's get practical.
Okay.
Say someone's listening thinking, all right, this applies to me. I need to make this happen.
Right.
What's the timeline? When do these changes officially kick in?
Mark your calendars, everyone, because the magic date is December 2nd, 2024.
Okay.
That's when you can start applying for these new visa variations or for a fresh work visa if you're eligible.
December 2nd, 2024. Got it. Any hints about whether they should be lining up their paperwork now or just chilling out until December?
Well, I can't offer specific legal advice,
Of course.
but it's never a bad idea to be prepared, right?
Right.
These visa applications can get pretty detailed, so the more organized you are, the smoother the process is likely to be.
That's always good advice. Plus, think of it this way. You've got a bit of time to maybe brush up on some New Zealand trivia, get yourself in the mood for some Kiwi life.
Absolutely. Though honestly, knowing the ins and outs of these new visa rules might be slightly more practical than being able to name all the species of penguin in New Zealand.
Okay, fair enough. But hey, a little fun never hurt anyone, right? So to recap for everyone, we're talking about a pretty significant shift in how New Zealand is approaching work visas for partners of skilled migrants.
Yeah.
It's not about being tied to one specific job anymore. It's about flexibility, fairness, and recognizing the value that families bring.
And I think it's really important to highlight that this isn't just some random act of generosity.
Right.
This is a calculated move by the New Zealand government. They're playing the long game here, trying to make their country as attractive as possible to skilled workers.
It's like they're sending a message to the world, hey, we want you here, and we want to make it easier for your family to thrive here too.
Yeah, exactly.
But isn't that good for everyone in the end?
Absolutely. When families are supported, when people feel welcome and empowered to contribute, everyone benefits. The workers, their partners, and ultimately the New Zealand economy as a whole.
It's a win-win. Okay, so we've covered who benefits when this all kicks in, but I'm curious, what kind of impact do you think these changes will have in the long run? I mean, we're talking about potentially a lot more people coming to New Zealand, right?
It's definitely going to be fascinating to see how this plays out. And we're not just talking about numbers either.
Right, it's about people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of ripple effects do you imagine this could have on New Zealand as a whole?
Well, for starters, it could have a real impact on the types of skilled workers they attract.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a software developer with job offers in multiple countries.
Okay.
Some of those countries might have similar visa programs,
Right.
but maybe they only let your partner work for a specific company.
Right.
Or maybe they make it really hard to switch jobs once you're there.
Yeah.
New Zealand's open work rights policy, that could be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
It's a powerful incentive.
It's like they're saying, come for the job, stay for the lifestyle for your whole family.
Exactly. And that kind of flexibility isn't just good for attracting talent, it's good for retaining it, too. When partners and families feel supported, they're more likely to put down roots, build a life, contribute to their communities.
Makes you wonder if we'll start seeing more diverse neighborhoods popping up, more businesses started by newcomers.
I think that's a real possibility. And then there's the economic side of things. New Zealand's been facing labor shortages in certain sectors, right?
They have.
Well, this could be a game changer for filling those gaps. Suddenly, they've got access to a whole new pool of skilled workers, the partners who might not have been able to work before.
It's like they unlocked a hidden talent pool.
Exactly. And when more people are working, more people are contributing to the economy.
Right.
It's a win-win all around.
It really feels like they've thought this through, hasn't it? It's not just about ticking boxes. It's about creating a system that actually benefits everyone involved.
I completely agree. And honestly, it's refreshing to see this kind of forward-thinking approach to immigration policy. It feels hopeful.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it.
Yeah.
Our whirlwind tour through New Zealand's updated partner visa rules. Hopefully you're feeling as informed and maybe even as optimistic about these changes as we are.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, here's a question to ponder. If you were designing a visa system, what would be your top priority? Fairness, economic growth, supporting families. Hit us up on our social media channels. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, happy exploring.